It's a beautiful responsibility to chase your own standard. Who is that? Your creative needle has to keep moving, cause the burden of being great is always having to prove it. Say it again.
The burden of being great is always gotta prove it.
Cause the burden of being great is always having to prove it. Generously, the Creator gave this gift to me. Since then, I've been persistent with its upliftment because I'm thankful for its delivery. From the start of things, prospering was a far dream. The process was exhausting as I birthed my skill and nurtured it like an offspring, no resting. I felt greatness was destined, cause my creative expression started to undergo an accelerated progression. A fresh pen became my best friend, and once I embraced that connection, my affection for writing was never in question. No secret, the accolades came frequent, and with each sentence the people would seek to see if I could equal it or exceed it. Ran straight through every wall that I was faced with, saw greatness in the distance, challenging me to a race. That's when I chased it. I caught and wrestled it into submission, started living with the thought of effortless mental precision. And though I'm grateful for creative thought flames I've been given to live up to my standards, I became painfully driven. A blessing in the burden. The lesson here is urgent. This gift that I possess made me feel stressed and undeserving. My standard was established while the rest were just emerging. It's an endless quest to still inject the message in the wording. A blessing in the burden. The lesson here is urgent. This gift that I possess made me feel stressed and undeserving. My standard was established while the rest were just emerging. It's an endless quest to still inject the message in the wording. No one forced me to pick up this torch, it was self-handed. Now on this lonely island of high standards, I felt stranded. The pressure quickly found my back, and upon that, it had landed. I hadn't planned to answer to that contrasting dynamic. The parameters expanded. To maintain that was relentless. The demand for more music doubled, and it came back with a vengeance. Like a true professional, I remained ethical, cause falling a step below my excellent expected flow was unacceptable. Even when sleepy, I'm conceiving deeply. The beats would incarcerate me, and only after completion they'd release me. For decades now I've wondered if I'm crazy for continuing to feed the very insatiable nature that enslaves me. What controlled me as a youngster still entraps me when I'm older. Sunlight taps me on my shoulder after collapsing in my folder, to make my work authentic and not fraudulent. So when my fans debate, they can present it in their arguments. A blessing in the burden.
Ain't no arguments, K. No arguments, K. You the GOAT. You the GOAT. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Okay.
While the rest were just emerging. It's an endless quest to still inject the message in the wording. A blessing in the burden. The lesson here is urgent. This gift that I possess made me feel stressed and undeserving. My standard was established while the rest were just emerging. It's an endless quest to still inject the message in the wording. Expectations strengthened as my name was lifted. The people fanned the flames, and the initial dose of praise became addictive. But to think it's ego-driven is absurdity. My purpose is to usurp every previous piece of work that you've heard from me. So minus all excuses, and no matter what I'm going through, I rack my brain to make sure I don't slack or disappoint you. I don't ever cheat my creative integrity or let one bad record leave any negative blemishes on my legacy. I stretch the boundaries.
I don't remember those. Do you have a bad song? I don't remember.
So now I live with the consequences of the bar that I set, and yet it doesn't matter consistently how you've been. I can put out 9 albums in one day, and somebody gon' say now do 10. And if I did have any drop off, it ain't been much. New artists coming every day, gotta keep up with that influx. I strain to write each word for each new ear that hears me subtly, cause I never know which song will be there first when they discover me. In the burden, the lesson here is urgent. This gift that I possess made me feel stressed and undeserving. My standard was established while the rest were just emerging. It's an endless quest to deal in.
Okay, look. I want to break the seriousness of this song because listening to the words to this song, you don't realize how much, he does have a bar that's super duper high, and you don't think about, hey, he got to top this project, that project, this lyrical song, that lyrical song, and it got to be up to par or people going to say he's falling off. He can't have a bad day. So, yes, he is the greatest MC of all time, the GOAT rapper. That's a blessing, but it's a burden because he got to keep being the greatest MC of all time. So I get that. Listen, K. I was laughing because the only problem somebody that haven't heard of you, the only problem they gonna have with your music is them beats early on. Them beats early on in your career, boy. It kept me away from you for a little while. I always liked the way you rap. I always loved the way you rap. But some of them beats before you got your feet wet and got with better producers and expanded your money where you could afford better producers, when you had to just rap on what you had, that was the burden. that was the burden at that time. But now, you got great producers now, and that pen is still sharp as it ever was, K. Pen is still sharp as it ever was. I don't remember listening to no bad songs because you have so many good songs. You kind of flood out your bad songs, and I never would hear that again because I'm gonna just go straight to the good shit. Just be honest.
City of Houston, get on your feet, man. Salute. Even if you wasn't born and raised out here, you might have moved out here, you still Houston. All good. Yeah. Houston is G'd up from the start. Everybody hanging out Sunday in McGregor Park. Listen, Houston is third ward to the SWAT. 14 and a half mixtape by Daryl Scott. Say it, Houston is keeping bread in your pocket, riding with the home team, Astros, Oilers, and Rockets, home of the soldiers. So it ain't no folding. Legendary 34s, Akeem, Earl, and Nolan, jumping out at the club sharp as an arrow. Rhinestone Wrangler, Chocolate Town, and Carroll's, Coke cans to get an Astro World, no ticket. And you ain't from H-Town if you don't know Wicked Cricket said.
Houston is still my number one.
Rest in peace, Wicked Cricket.
Houston is the only town I wanna live in. Always show me love from the beginning. Ain't nobody like us, that's why we still winning.
I'm paying homage because it's only right for me to do. French's chicken on Scott, we do it for TSU. From the past to the present, shouting out to the greats. Still love Five Slammer Jammer, repping U of H. Who remember Club Boomerang? Now I'm reminiscing, killing shows with the whole South Park coalition. Jay Prince had the vision, so we started believing. Ghetto boys made the whole world respect our region. Mo City, the fifth ward, yeah, I know you loving this street. Military, please, can I have another hit? Got our own style, ain't no place like it in the world. And the whole planet got screwed up by Robert Earl. Crazy weather, but still
Rest in
better
peace,
than
DJ
any place we know. Shout out to my Mexican family, my Latinos. We the trendsetters, we stay ahead of the game. Heim Clark got way too many legends to name. That's why
Houston is still my number one city. My number one city. Houston is the only town I wanna live in. The only town I wanna live in. Always show me love from the beginning. Always show me love. Ain't nobody like us. That's why we still winning. That's why we still winning.
most of the year H-Town sound be hotter than the oven. Remember the screw shop back when it was on Cullen? Great tapes and a screwed up click, wrecking them beats. Kids Jam was the first radio station from the streets. You can pick any record label, it's all H-Town. Rap a lot, switch a house, big time, a jam down. Dope house, sucker free. The homies at Rec Shop, Perry on Suave House, straight profit and shortstop. Say it, Houston is
presidential records is presidential.
High school football games inside the dome. Slabs with trunks rattling, folks chasing the paper. Club Gucci's all the way to Jamaica. Going to
Dirty Thirds,
hooping Timmy Chan after. Back in the days, loading up and riding to the Kappa. Still laughing and ranking even on our down days. Buying your favorite rappers, new album from Soundwaves.
Soundwaves.
Travel throughout the town, couldn't afford the Galleria. We just went to walk around. When the bus stopped running, that dark we used to walk. Let's take it to the north, Studewood and do some park. Mr. A's, the Sean's cornbreads came later. Every rapper trying to be seen on street flavor. Every hood apartment complex I showed up in. Houston taught me the game when I didn't know nothing. That's why
Houston is still my number one city. Houston is the only town I wanna live in. Always show me love from the beginning. Ain't nobody like us, that's why we still winning. So throw your juices in the air, south side, north side. Can you tell me how you feel? City hardcore, can you tell me how you feel? H-Town, 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 H-Town.
I love Houston, Texas. I don't go as much as I used to. I haven't been there in about a good 2 years now. Yeah, about 2 years now since I've been to H-Town. But back in my younger days, younger 20s, teenage years, especially when we was playing AU, and then when I had a partner named Shane, he used to rap with Paul Wall in Swisher House. Used to be down there a lot. And then when I got older, you know, if you ever been to Houston, the women. So I used to, if you ever been to Houston, partner, they all bad. Like, I don't think I've seen a average looking, like it's hard to find an average looking Houston woman. Like, so I used to go there a lot just for that too. Just for that too, and just because I had people that stayed out there too. So, but I don't go too much no more. But when I did, yes, never really had no bad times, man. Houston show love. They welcome you in like one of their own. But take the welcome and be respectful. Because them bars do not play in that H-Town at all.
we should have knew this day was gonna come. Or should I say this moment? I don't mismanage, panic, or lose. Kick you across the Atlantic with a pair of handcrafted mechanical shoes. My manic moves left understanding confused. My appetite so gigantic and huge, I use whole planets for food. Beef with me, you'll be receiving a wreath. Me, I can let you see a preview of your ghost before you're even deceased. I open up my book and read through the sheets. Then grab a belt and beat the whole city to sleep so I can read them in peace. See, I got special ways to send you to the necro stage. You'll scream with so much stress and rage, it'll be a whole decade before the echo fades. I'll slay you with an expose and spit a wave of pepper spray that'll have your entire brigade skating in retrograde. My lines are dealt in crushing flurry. I'll make time itself rush off in such a hurry that midnight will strike at 7:30. My talent surge flows through the universe and travels earthly. That's why my words be quoted by persons who haven't heard me. My chapters close the language gap. I'll rearrange the continents in such a heinous act they'll have to change the map. To claim you rap was a dangerous trap, cause I'ma make your brain collapse and in seconds you'll be given an angel dap. My deepest bars
You're the angel dap.
cause my writing sheets are so large that it takes me weeks to reach the margins.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
Exhausting. My voice has elite compartments. Once it starts, it sounds like 40 people talking. Your prognosis will prove dismal, cause soon as my musical moves hit you, the bruise will feel like a mule kicked you. You must must have a confused signal. Cause you against me is a used 22 pistol versus a cruise missile. My letter usage is beautiful. When I'm threatened, my pages turn into an immovable, bulletproof cubicle. An undisputed truth, irrefutable. So when I get through brutally pruning you, it'll look like I slew a crew of you. From the deep philosophical to completely impossible. I speak topics so hot that they rush the beat to the hospital. When I work, I need solitude. So I remove everything out the room, even the oxygen in the molecules.
You don't smoke, you don't drink. Where, like, this imagination of yours is fucking incredible, bro. You need to, K-Rino, please, bro. Please. Direct, like, write a movie treatment or something, bro. You gotta do something with this talent, like, besides giving us this heat. I gotta see this visually, bro. You need to get somebody that does animation to do these bars, bro, because to hear it is crazy, but to hear it and see it, oh my god, it'll be crazy.
I'm grammatically upper class. Snatch your future and stuff it up in a duffel bag. Spaz and make you suffer like succotash. Have you running so fast to a pasture, the speed of your feet will cut the grass. The fire's cooking to you, fry and melt. Your family tried to help and fail. Now your body gotta identify yourself. I promenade across your stomach hard. My presence is becoming large, so even solo I look like an entourage. In this amazing art I'm taking part. Engrave my words so hard into the paper that a razor couldn't scrape them off. My favorite pen is made of brass. It's so great I placed it in a sacred stash, cased in glass, guarded by 8 giraffes. By any means cling to me, cause I can fiendishly swipe my hand through the air and extinguish actual scenery. I stomp down with a thunderous sound. When no one is around, I dig holes and bury space up under the ground. When potential is met, none venture to mention my name. I can sense and detect 1/10 of a temperature change. I give one warning, ready, set, boom. Then drop a line from Neptune that leaves a chest wound the size of a restroom. You wanna wrestle with the best and let's go. I'm so anatomically blessed though, that pain has a K-Rino threshold. The debaters would try all ways, but my senses are so amazing that I can hear your eyebrows raised. The rapper seeing me approach him is the scariest vision. My first word as a baby was totalitarianism. To the wind I'm sending caution. I'll start injuring with talking. You'll have to sleep with one eye open even when you're in your coffin.
The best part about K-Rino, when he get into that punchline and metaphor and entendre bag, you never know where it's going. You never know where the punchline is going to land at. You never know where the metaphor is going. like you can't predict the next word. And I do this. Like, y'all know, I catch lyrics quickly. But K-Rino is one of them, and it's like, I have to go back and re-listen. I just have to, because I know I done missed a couple of them, and I have to go back just because it's like, I got to catch everything. I catch lyrics very quickly, bro, for the most part, from a lot of rappers. But K-Rino, you never know where it's going. Like, I could catch him after the second listen, I could kind of start comprehending everything. But that first listen is like being a kid underneath the tree for Christmas. You don't know what you're getting, but you know it's gonna be good. You know it's gonna be good.